we proudly welcome you to WXM
Battlelines.
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Skyler is the limit.
Transforming the wrestling scene over there.
WXM enna sokhani lagega.
Hello and welcome to Battlelines. I'm Ollie Davis over here at WrestleTalk. This is Dave Bradshaw, a WrestleTalk man and one of the voices of WXM. WXM, yes, it's this Indian wrestling promotion that has been transforming the wrestling scene over there, and us here at WrestleTalk are incredibly excited to be working with them.
Yep, in WXM we have been changing the game for Indian wrestling, and over the next several weeks we're going to be sharing with you the story so far in some of the most heated rivalries that we've seen in WXM.
If you're new to WXM though, here's what it's all about.
एक समय था जब हिंदुस्तान प्रो रेसलिंग की दुनिया का शेर था, पर धीरे-धीरे हमारी दहाड़ कम होती गई.
For decades our wrestlers went abroad, fought someone else's battles, played by someone else's rules.
हमने पूरे भारत से रेसलर्स को ढूंढा, क्योंकि रेसलिंग को वहीं लेकर आना है जहां से वो बिलोंग करती है.
We knew this wasn't going to be easy. Because what we are building is not just a wrestling company, it's India's wrestling identity. Something that would stand forever. Many tried and left, but we stayed. Because this isn't for quick applause. This is legacy. This is identity.
ये रिंग सिर्फ लोहा और रस्सी नहीं, ये हमारी इज्जत है, ये हमारा वजूद है. WXM सिर्फ हमारा नहीं, आपका भी. दुनिया हमारे पास आएगी, रेसलिंग की घर वापसी हो चुकी है.
Welcome to This is WXM. Pro Indian talent. Tell a friend about what's going on here at WXM.
WXM's destiny to become the nexus of global pro wrestling, fueled with your passion, determination, exhilaration. From India for the world, and we are just getting ignited.
What a start it's been, and as Rishi, the CEO, told us, there are plenty of huge announcements coming over the next few weeks in the future about the shows. So make sure to follow WXM on social media.
Yeah, and speaking of social media, Ollie, there's been a really heated war of words over the past few weeks between our CEO Rishi and Fateh the Zamindar, a man who's been dominating affairs in WXM for some time. Not least of which, when on the last episode of Ground Zero, Fateh somehow was able to kind of hijack the last few moments of the show to deliver a message to WXM. We don't really know how he did that, but we have taken some extra security measures today. We're confident that he won't be able to do it again, even if he wants to. But our apologies for that. If you saw that at the end of Ground Zero, it wasn't our intention. Nonetheless, though, things between Fateh and Rishi continuing to heat up.
Well, speaking of Fateh, that is the subject of today's episode, his feud with Raj, the Maharaja.
This all started after Raj, a former world champion, made international headlines last September when, after a win over England's Shah Samuels, he officially signed his contract to join the WXM roster. Then, on our weekly YouTube show Ground Zero this past January, Raj became one of the first names entered into the 16-man tournament that was announced to crown our first ever WXM World Champion. In his first round match, he faced Josan.
Who could forget weeks ago when Josan and Crossbones staked their claim, and this man stood up to them and stood up for WXM. Andrew, if you are the Maharaja, what is your game plan right now?
University, and tonight is no different. But look at this! Exactly what he's doing in there. And like you asked me, Johnny, as Raj is starting to come back here, but Raj should definitely take it slow. Use
Uses powerful right hands. That's exactly what he just did. They are going to see him as a pillar, which is one of the many reasons he's been so focused to the outside. And now through the second, are you... Whoa! The Maharaja is in control here, but Josan using his power. The Maharaja, we knew he was not 100% coming in.
Come on.
Couple of right hands having some effect, but Josan able to reverse into a massive German suplex.
Josan shouldn't be doing is wasting time, and that's why. Because Raj is a world-class athlete. He's been at WWE. He's been at the top. You can't waste time, Josan. What are you doing?
Oh, sunset flip by the Maharaja, center of the ring, and Josan able to roll out at 2. This right now is Josan up to the second turnbuckle, looking to put the finishing touch. No, a senton! The Maharaja back to his feet. Josan goes for a right hand. Maharaja catches him. Josan has no idea where he's at. Going for the Kalash. The Kalash, but Josan isn't scouted. Backing the Maharaja into the corner. The official's been struck. Don swings wildly. A boot to the face by the Maharaja. The chair flies. Josan, and now retribution from last week. Damaged the Maharaja last week, and that could spell the official slowly making his way over into the cage. And the Maharaja moves on in the tournament.
Here is your winner, the Maharaja.
Painful retribution. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't easy. It was downright exhausting. But Raj the Maharaja found a way to not only get retribution on Josan and Crossbones, but he stays alive in his quest to become the inaugural WXM World Champion.
So Josan's a big boy then, isn't he?
Certainly
Raj
is.
beat him. Off to a good start.
Yeah, that was a victory in the first round of the World Title Tournament. He then advanced to the second round, where he got another very impressive victory, Raj beating Donovan Dijak to make it all the way through to the tournament final, that four-way match that will eventually crown the first ever WXM World Champion. But he was very quickly joined in that match by the deranged Skyler, who also won his bracket to book his place in the title match as well. Meanwhile, at that point, just as things are heating up between Raj and Skyler, we saw the arrival of Fateh the Zamindar, a very well-funded, mysterious man who was paying a bunch of mercenaries to help him out and make sure he got his way as he tried to become the first ever champion.
I thought he was banned. That's the last I heard. He was banned from winning the world title.
Yeah, that's right. His plans were kind of quickly foiled, to be honest, because WXM management decided that because Fateh is not a man of honor, he wouldn't be permitted to enter the world title tournament in the first place. So Fateh kind of found himself reaching a little bit of a dead end. Meanwhile, Raj and Skyler continued to do battle. Skyler even attacked Raj back in the locker room area. And so it got to a point where Raj made his way to the ring over on ground zero, and he wanted to call out Skyler so they could settle their differences. In the end, though, it wasn't Skyler who answered the call.
Now, it's been a long time since the Maharaja has been a world champion. And at breakpoint, the next PLE, the Maharaja has locked in his opportunity to become the first ever WXM heavyweight champion. And another man in that four-way is Skyler. Now, Skyler, you want to attack the Maharaja? You want to put your filthy hands on the championship that you have not yet earned? Get out here and face the Maharaja like a man. Get out here, Skyler.
Shut up. I want you to win WXM Championship for me.
No.
But then going after him, looking to attack with the briefcase. The Maharaja with a boot to the face with a super kick by Fateh.
Come on, one hit, Fateh. That's a good
already. He's lost his watch. He might have to lose a lot more. And it's the Kalash. And Dave, the Maharaja may have made plenty of enemies. Let's add one or two more to that list right now.
So Skyler just kept on attacking Raj through March, and that made Fateh look at him and go, oh, this guy could win the tournament in my place.
Yeah, I think Fateh kind of thought that in the absence of him being able to enter the tournament, that Skyler could just be his representative and he could pay him off, and Skyler would be kind of a paper champion, Fateh would be the real champion. But it's kind of easier said than done, because as we found out as time's gone on here in WXM, Skyler's kind of a loose cannon. So things get interesting in that regard, as we'll find out later. But yes, things between Raj and Skyler certainly got more and more heated. They kept on attacking each other. So much so that WXM management started to get worried that they might not make it to the four-way championship match because they might tear each other apart before then. So with that in mind, a no contact order was imposed, meaning that if either Raj or Skyler made any kind of physical contact with the other before that championship match, then whoever was responsible for that contact would be stripped of their place in the championship match. Now, obviously, Skyler thought, this is interesting. It's a good way I could maybe get Raj out of the match. So he kept on trying to goad him, kept on just poking the bear, trying to get Raj to attack him, even claiming that Raj isn't a real Indian because he's spent a lot of his time growing up and competing in Canada and the United States.
Yeah, and it was because of that insult that management agreed to lift the no contact order and let them settle their differences one-on-one.
It is now time for what is sure to be a destructive main event of high voltage. Skyler has attacked Raj the Maharaja on multiple occasions, struck him in the back of the neck with the WXM World title, but right now Raj is about to get some revenge. And down goes Skyler. Oh my God, it's Josan! What the hell is the Lion of Punjab doing here? Oh my God, it's Shaw Samuels! What the hell? You want to talk about enemies? Shaw Samuels lost to Raj in the main event of WXM Powerbomb. We haven't seen him in months. Now he comes back with a steel chair to the head. Someone needs to help. This is disgusting here.
Yeah, Bobby B's out here bringing security. What is Josan doing? Josan bringing in supporters.
He put in the chair! Oh my God! What are you doing? What are you doing?
Raj the Maharaja's bleeding. Oh no, over the top rope shot!
Hanging him! Stop! Get someone! Stop this! Someone stop this!
To be honest, Ollie, it's kind of tough to revisit that because it was one of the more brutal assaults I've ever seen at a wrestling event. And we saw Raj got stretchered out of the building. We were all so concerned, and we honestly didn't know whether he was going to be all right, let alone ever wrestle again. He found out then a week later that he would eventually make a full recovery, but he wasn't going to be fully recovered in time for when the championship match was scheduled, and therefore he would be withdrawn from that championship match, which obviously for him was devastating.
And meanwhile, a gleeful Fateh promised to hold a funeral live on Ground Zero. Very classy, which he did.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned earlier, the Zamindar promised a special ceremony tonight, and quite frankly, I didn't even think he was capable of stooping this low.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone look so happy, so smug to be at a memorial.
Oh my God, it's Shaw Samuels! What the hell?
Another enemy! Shaw Samuels! With a shot to the head with a steel chair!
Fateh has steel stairs.
Oh, he's put in the. What are you doing? He's put in the chair
No, don't
around
do
the
this.
neck. Oh my God! What are you doing? What are you doing?
Tonight, we are here for the funeral of Raj the Maharaja. The Maharaja's era is finished now! And it's time for the new era, the Zamindar's era. And it's gonna be the best era of professional wrestling because I am the best wrestler of this generation. You have to admit it. Yeah, they have to. Hey, just shut up when I'm talking.
And the protest from these fans.
Raj, तू अपनी लाइफ बहुत वर्ल्ड टाइटल्स जिते, वर्ल्ड दे बेस्ट रेसलर्स ਨੂੰ बीट ਕੀਤਾ, बट लास्ट वीक ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਫਟੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਡਿੱਗ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਾਨ ਦੀ ਭੀਖ ਮੰਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ. But now it's Zamindar's time because Maharaja is dead.
What? No, he's not! The Maharaja has seen enough of this memorial. The Maharaja promised vengeance. He promised payback. And he's taking a step towards that payback right now.
WXM management actually told Raj to stay away because he's not medically cleared to compete still. But Raj, he was intent on revenge.
Yeah, it's almost like he had kind of a hit list of everyone who'd been involved in that attack on him who he wanted to get back at. So very quickly we saw him go after Josan and get revenge on him. Then there was an episode of Ground Zero very memorably where Fateh was so worried about what Raj might do that he brought his own private security with him, except that Raj somehow infiltrated that group and was one of the security guards in disguise. So that allowed him to get to some members of the Zamindar gang.
I hope that doesn't happen with our security that we've put around this studio.
No, we've carefully vetted all of them, don't worry. So it was getting to a point where that you just couldn't keep Raj and Fateh apart. But WXM management kind of had the issue that, look, Raj, although he's now been removed from the championship match, they also have a duty of care towards the Maharaja. And because he's not medically cleared to compete, they can't really authorize a match between Raj and Fateh, even though that's clearly what needed to happen. So ultimately, WXM management kind of agreed. They're like, look, you two can have your match with each other, but we can't have any liability. So although we'll let you use our premises essentially to do it, it's going to be an unsanctioned match.
And of course I know what an unsanctioned match is, of course, but for everybody else, what is it, Dave?
So it happened at the end of a night of action where we were filming other matches, and it had to happen after all of the audience had left, so an empty arena.
Oh wow, so this is a full-on no one can sit. We are washing our hands off.
No one there. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Commentary table. We both left. So it was a completely empty arena. They were allowed essentially anywhere in the whole compound because it's not just an auditorium. There's a whole performance center that WXM has. So they could go anywhere. The only people there were a camera crew filming it and the referee. And the referee had a very simple job because this wasn't even a match, it was a fight, right? So it wasn't going to be about pinfalls or submissions. The referee just had to determine when someone was literally unable to continue because those are the depths to which we'd got. It was kind of a battle to end it all between Raj and Fateh.
Blood for blood!
Zamindar na sokha nahi marda!
You thought this was a game? Look at you, blood for blood! I told you were gonna suffer. I told you I was gonna make you pay.
Zamindar na sokha nahi marda!
told you I'll get you back.
Raj took out Fateh, so was he allowed back into the four-way to decide the inaugural champion?
Well, let's just not go too fast. We got a whole season of battle lines, so we will get back to the Raj story later on in a few weeks' time as we focus on that world title tournament. But clearly, this vendetta between Raj and Fateh really reached a climax in that unsanctioned match. But we'll leave that there for now. Let's talk about next week and what we're going to be looking at when we'll be talking about Neil and his efforts to...
ਰਿਸ਼ੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇਰੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਹਾਸਾ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਲਿਆ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੂੰ ਸਿਰਫ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਦਲੇਰ ਬਣ ਸਕਦਾ ਪਰ ਅਸਲ 'ਚ ਜ਼ਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੁੱਤੀ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦਮ ਰੱਖਦੀ ਆ ਤੂੰ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰੋਕਣ 'ਚ ਨਾਕਾਮ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਹੀ ਰਿੰਗ 'ਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੇਰੇ ਹੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਦਾ ਫਿਊਨਰਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਜ਼ੀਰੋ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਨਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਬ੍ਰੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਟਰਫੇਅਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਬਿਤ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੁਣ WXM ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਚਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੇਰੀ ਭਲਾਈ ਇਸੇ ਗੱਲ 'ਚ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੂੰ WXM ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਅੰਡਰ ਦੇ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਚ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਛ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਹਰਜਾਨਾ ਪੂਰੀ WXM ਨੂੰ ਭੁਗਤਣਾ ਪਊਗਾ ਲਾਸਟ ਵੀਕ ਤੂੰ ਜ਼ਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਬਣਨ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਰਿਸ਼ੀ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਦਿਲ ਤੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਿਠਾ ਲੈ ਜ਼ਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਮੀਂਦਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ
Sorry about that. Do you want to do the what's coming up next week? Just do that bit again.
Yeah. Sorry. As we were saying, but next week we're going to be talking about Neil, who's one of the biggest up and coming stars in WXM. But he was also kind of at the center of a real whodunit, if you like, over several months of this year, the first part of this year.
I love a whodunit.
Because he was attacked from behind and kind of taken out of the world title tournament. And there was a big investigation into who it was who'd been responsible for that. We eventually found out who, but we'll get into what happened with the attack, the investigation, and its eventual conclusion next week right here.
That's all coming up next week on Battlelines, so make sure you follow us on social media. But until then, Jigra Hey.